on the papers, and of course there's been an incident of murder here, murder there, and of course it's also cases of violence against women, because most of the victims in these cases have been identified to be women. But right now we are going to unveil how a shopping receipt uncovered another victim of Eastleigh killer.
That's right. Now, the name Hashim Dagane Muhumed, might sound familiar to you if you've been watching the news over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He was, of course, arrested over the murder of 3 women in Eastleigh, whose bodies were found in separate places. It was, of course, a woman, her daughter, and her niece. And now he's being linked to another murder after bones were discovered dumped, human bones actually, were discovered dumped near Langata Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Officers from Langata Police Station were dispatched, and they proceeded with investigations at the gory scene, and one of the items recovered from the scene was a receipt that led them to a supermarket. And when they trailed the supermarket and of course the number that was used to pay for the transaction via M-Pesa, they found out that it was most probably the victim of this murder, who is Deka, of course, and Abdinur Gorone.
Mm-hmm.
They of course found that she had been reported missing about 7 days before these bones were discovered, and pending crime scene analysis and DNA investigations to confirm whether or not she is the victim, the police do think that she is most likely the victim.
So the receipt included the supermarket's name, time of purchase, and payment method, indicating payment via M-Pesa. And the receipt also had the mobile phone number used for the transaction. As that went on, the investigators decided to do a crackdown, and the supermarket officials retrieved the transaction details. With the payment time, detectives were able to review the CCTV footage and spotted the shopper, a woman dressed in a maroon and black hijab. As we look at that, we also are looking at spaces where individuals just go missing and then nothing is done. And you'll find that for some families, they are quiet simply because maybe your relative stays in Nairobi and there's nothing much you can do if you're staying a little bit far from them. Lucky for the families of the Eastleigh victims, they were up close with the family, with some even tracking their auntie and trying to find out where they are. That level of concern can also help with investigations and, of course, timely manner when it comes to reporting of such incidences.
That's right. Detectives, after going to the supermarket and tracking down that it was Deka who had bought a few things there, later went to an apartment in Lavington where they found the where footage captured Deka there. The DCI chief said that Deka was killed in a rented apartment in Lavington where she had spent time with a suspect who is now in custody. And he said that he had been captured leaving the apartment with 2 bags allegedly containing Deka's remains. I think this does continue to point to Kenya's ongoing femicide problem, and the fact that there is no justice for the victims is really the thorn in the flesh of why we're not being able to, curb this menace. The same Daily Nation on the same page has a story about a judge granting probation to a man who killed his wife over cheating claims. Justice Ruben Nyakundi of Eldoret High Court granted a man who killed his wife after accusing her of cheating 3 years of probation. No actual time, no time served, actual probation. The man was charged with the murder of his spouse and was convicted of manslaughter after he beat her and she died of her injuries. The fact that someone could murder someone else and be convicted of manslaughter and be given only 3 years probation points to the fact that we really do not care for women and women's lives in this country, and that's why this femicide problem continues to persist. There's no deterrent if people are getting off on probation from murder.
Yeah, I hope that there's going to be a level of peace for the families that have been affected directly or indirectly. Also, that we need to take care of each other, create atmospheres and environments where we protect our women daily. For now,